Okay, we have started apparently. So I'll just get myself all ready, set up the chat window, and we'll be a rockin' and a rollin' any old time. Hey, Captain America, Antifa Supersoldier. Hi, Big Pat, Bjorn, and Dave Hill. Oops. I hate it when I forget that. There we go. That's done. Hey, Philosopher, how's it going? Pop out the chat. And I can rearrange my desktop. And now I can see everybody is here. And got my chat. And we're happening. And hello, Stephen. I'll just do that. Yes, okay, cool. Ready, rock and roll. I am fine, thank you, Stephen. How's everyone out there? Final day, almost the weekend. One more day to survive at work. Unless, of course, you have the type of job that's not Monday to Friday, you'll have a very different weekend. And I know people who don't have Monday to Friday jobs get the shits with everyone talking about their weekend. Is like, hey, what are we going to do this weekend? And they go, I'm going to be working. That's what I'm going to do this weekend. And you can never sort of go out and socialize with people, or it's very hard to socialize with people. Yeah, those are usually, but not always, like hospitality jobs, retail jobs. Yeah, if you don't work a regular Monday to Friday job, I feel for you, because it really does make it hard to socialize with people and get organized. But yeah, because I mean, like I organize meetups with YouTubers here in Melbourne, every couple months, and they're almost always on a Saturday or a Sunday, and they're almost always on a Saturday. Sometimes they're on a Sunday, because I do get some people say, "Oh, I work Saturdays. I can never come on Saturday." But Saturday's a better day for most people, so most of the time we're on Saturdays, and sometimes I'll do them on Sundays. But then I get the people who say, like, and Sunday, why not do it during the week? Because like at least 9 out of 10 people work during the week. So I feel for people who do work on the weekend and can't actually fit in with that sort of schedule. But during the week, it's like no one can fit into the schedule. So that's one of life's tough breaks, unfortunately. But so he swings and roundabouts. Hopefully you don't get stuck in a crappy job your whole life, particularly when you're younger. You have to take crappy jobs. I worked McDonald's and KFC and Pizza Hut. Those are my first 3 jobs. I worked the big 3 food things. McDonald's for a bit over a year when I was in high school, like year 11 and 12. KFC for a really short period between school and going off to uni, because KFC was fucking horrible. Now it's probably completely different now. Like McDonald's is completely different now to when I worked there. But KFC was shit. It was a shit place to work. And of the 3, like I did McDonald's, KFC, and Pizza Hut, KFC was the worst quality food. It was dodgy as fuck as far as I'm concerned. The best place to work and the best food was Pizza Hut. That was like actual fresh food. That was actually real sort of human consumptive food. McDonald's was all frozen. And Pizza Hut was actually real food. Bury, trying to shuffle off the mortal coil. What's getting you down? That seems a bit harsh. I mean, my day job has got some stressful elements at the moment. A big project that's been building up for over a year. Oh, you can't stay around for well, thanks for dropping by and saying hello. But I'm part of a big project that's been going on for over a year, and it's a month from going live. Basically, I foresee problems, and I foresee people losing their fucking minds and getting really stressed and running around like chooks with their heads cut off. Yeah, I'm not letting it get to me. It used to get to me when I first started on the project. Because everyone else had been on it for I've been on it for 6 months. Everyone had been on it for like 6 to 12 months, depending how long they'd been there. So they knew everything, and I knew nothing, and there was all this pressure, and I put myself under pressure, and I felt like shit all the time. I finally got over it. Now I don't give a shit. Hey, Megalich, how you doing, buddy? So, my friends, that is the way to get through life. Give less of a shit. Yeah, there are important things that you should give a shit about, like ideally family. And I know that's not everyone. I know everyone has a good family life. But yeah, if I'm saying what you need is good friends and family. I don't want to depress anyone who feels like they don't have good friends or family, but you know. David, good call. Running stressed and running around like chooks with their heads cut off. Our government, the Liberal National Party coalition, currently, technically, they are a minority government. Because their deputy leader is not eligible to be in Parliament, has to stand for election again, which he will probably win. So there's probably only a hiccup, but man, it does no fucking good for what was already an unstable government. The Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, is really unpopular with about half of his party. And it turns out he's unpopular now with a significant majority of the country. And he's got the former Prime Minister, the guy he knocked off, who's been on revenge murder mood ever since he got knocked off, sniping at him all the time and just taking up more and more and more extreme right-wing positions on everything. And Turnbull is weak as piss and won't stand up to him. And so Turnbull looks really pathetic, and he's about to have lost 30 opinion polls in a row. And not looking good for him. Biori, I understand completely the world getting you down. The world's 10 kinds of fucked at the moment, quite honestly. I think feeling down about the world is a perfectly normal and rational response to what's going on around us. And hello to you, Aussie Gun Bunny. How's it all going? I mean, seriously, almost no matter who you are, what your political or social views are, you would just look around the world at the moment and go, man, that is fucking shit. Yeah, hey, yeah, David, Barnaby Joyce is almost certain to win re-election. Was there a Walmart shooting today, Biori? I did not see that. But yeah, that's just depressing business as usual. I mean, there is, I mean, so many gun deaths in America. Ooh, 3 people got killed at Walmart in Colorado. Okay. Well, that's really depressing, isn't it? Yeah, so the guy actually got away. Guy with the handgun just got out and started shooting people and got away. Oh, geez. That's depressing. So, yeah, but this sort of shit's impossible to get away from in the world generally, America specifically. The fuck. Ha! Ha! Aussie Gun Bunny at his first halal snack pack, and it was fucking huge. I'm not surprised it took you 2 hours to knock it off. He showed me the photo on Facebook, and it was fucking huge. Yeah, Viore, look, the fact is there's no getting around. Fucked people are everywhere. It's almost, I've said this before. It's like when shitty stuff happens and people sort of want to see a reason in it. They want, why did this happen? Why is the world like that? I go, well, step one in all these things, in assessing all these incidents that happen, the first thing you need to get clear in your mind is people are shit. And then the rest starts to explain itself. Oh, why did that person use his religion as an excuse to murder those people? Well, because he's shit, and people generally shit. Why did that guy kill 60 people in Las Vegas? Because people are shit and they do shit things. But there are good things, as Aussie Gun Bunny points out. Halal snack packs, they are a good thing. A good halal snack pack is a good thing. I'm really tempted because I've been talking to them, been posting. Man, I might even get one for lunch. There is a place in the city in Melbourne, not far from where I work, that does A, huge, and B, fantastic halal snack packs, and I might get one tomorrow. Except it is so good, it's so popular. You have to line up. It gets really crowded. David, what do I think about Asylum Seekers Menace? It's fucked. It's fucked from beginning to end. It is a stain on Australia, the way successive governments have treated asylum seekers, turned them into a political football. Desperate people fleeing desperate situations. And the really fucked part of it is the desperate situations they're fleeing are caused by our foreign policy more often than not. It's like we, through who we ally ourselves with, are directly responsible for the wars these people are fleeing, and we treat them like shit, turn them into a political football, and literally the stated goal of the government is to treat people fleeing war zones and torture so badly, staying in the war zones, staying in the regime that will torture them, is preferable to attempting to get into Australia. That is some fucking epic level fuckery right there. So yeah, just one more example of people are shit, and neither of the major political parties in Australia can pretend they're innocent of it, because they're both guilty. The Labor Party has been so beaten under by the fucking xenophobic rantings of the Liberals, they're desperate to be tougher than the Liberals. I mean, yeah, I mean, people like Dutton is utter fucking garbage. But the Labor Party is completely lacking in moral integrity on the topic of asylum seekers. And it's just like, oh yeah, like, I know these people are really miserable and we're torturing them, but, you know, elections, you know, we're now convinced that the raving idiot racist vote is so influential in elections that we're going to pander to them, even if it means losing our souls, even if it means behaving despicably, even if it means literally torturing people who are fleeing war zones that were created by our foreign policy. I mean, for fuck's sake. And the layer of lies upon lies upon lies upon lies both the Libs and Labor say in relation to what's happening, I mean, is absolutely despicable. But yeah, as you said, David, race to the bottom of the barrel. I think they broke through the bottom of the barrel quite some time ago and kept digging, and you know, they've dug right through Earth's upper mantle, and I think they're sort of swimming in magma at the moment. Aussie Gun Bunny, that's dodgy. Someone who you were mates with come out being a member of One Nation. It's just like, the absolute best you can say about someone who's in One Nation is they are deluded and have been sucked in by lies. Because that is the thing Hanson and their crowd do, is lie. They lie constantly. And some people are worried and, you know, scared and insecure, and Hanson and her crew give that person an easy scapegoat. Look, the reason you're worried, the reason you fear for your safety, the reason you fear for your job is dirty foreigners. It's all that. And so I think there is a spectrum of people on who say you were in one nation. It's not a good spectrum. The better end of the spectrum is just people who've been deluded and have been sucked in by lies. And of course, the other end of the spectrum are the racist to the core scumfucks. Kevin, all hail Tom Bloke. Okay, I think I missed something there, but that's good. But yeah, no, one nation just catering to the worst. But that's like a global phenomenon. It disturbs the hell out of me. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Aussie Gun Bunny, maybe he's not a closet racist. Maybe he is. A lot of the people in one nation aren't racist, but they've been suckered by the easy lies that one nation give them. It's like, I don't know, here's a simple answer to the really complex questions in your life. Then get sucked in. Oh, Kevin, Tom Bloke, is that the guy who has the Krang T. Nelson account? Because that is what it's referencing. If no one else knows, when I called this thread the Antifa Supersoldier World Takeover, some fucking weirdos in the ultra-right online, particularly people in America, had got into their head that something bad was going to happen on November 4th, that the anti-fascists were going to, you know, fucking kill Trump supporters. And this little fever dream of theirs started to pick up pace. And a guy who runs a joke Twitter account under the name Krang T. Nelson, he tweeted something really absurd like, I'm really looking forward to November 1st when Antifa super soldiers will behead white parents and shopkeepers in the town square. Like something patently absurd, right? He's just saying like, you people are idiots. And this got picked up by some really big name conservatives in the US who treated it like it was real, like people were really threatening to kill white parents and shopkeepers. It's like, okay, how extreme does someone's absurdity have to be before you fucking morons get it? The guy even got his Twitter account suspended for a day or two. Like it was absurd, absolutely ridiculous. So Aussie Gone Bunny, One Nation are cracking the shits because Stephen Lane announced he was a member without telling them. Okay, cool. And I'm betraying my ignorance for a second. Who's Stephen Lane? Because I don't recognize the name. But Chris, yes, I did see the John Oliver segment on the Australian marriage equality postal vote. It's pretty good. John Oliver generally is pretty good. But yes, he did highlight that the marriage equality vote in Australia is stupid, expensive, pointless, non-binding, meaningless, and pandering to ultra-right fucking bigots. David Hill, I think Alex Jones did pick up the Antifa Supersoldier thing. And Bureau, you're right. It'd be nice if we could be civilized and just play video games to sort things out. Oh yeah, Chris, John Oliver did highlight the guy who headbutted Tony Abbott. That was pretty funny. Oh, okay. I was like, that guy was an independent, now says he's One Nation, and he didn't tell One Nation. Okay, that's a little bit surreal. I'm going to see if I can find a news story on that. Stephen Lane One. I'm just going to see if there's any news stories on this so I can work out. Ooh, accused of being copycat. An independent candidate accused by One Nation of deceiving the public. Okay, so this is really weird. He's saying he's a member of One Nation, but he's running as an independent. Okay. And he is actually officially a member of One Nation. Wow, that is really surreal. And no offense to bald guys, but whenever I see a bald guy who supports an ultra racist party like One Nation, I just start thinking Nazi skinhead. So yeah. Yeah, that is. I like that, Aussie Gun Bunny. That is a spectacularly weird story. The guy is running as an independent, and I think the One Nation people are upset. Are right. He's just gone. Oh wait, I've decided One Nation are popular in Queensland, so I'm going to say I'm One Nation, in the hope that more rednecks vote for me. As you say, Aussie Gun Bunny, North Queensland politics. Jeez. Tis a world unto its own. You're absolutely right. No, David, you're absolutely right. He is a party member apparently quite recently, like October. He became a party member of One Nation, but he's not registered as a One Nation candidate. He's registered as an independent. And the One Nation party machine are quite angry at him because they think he's just cashing in on their name. And I think they're right. So even a stopped clock is right twice a day. In this case, One Nation are right. Because, yeah, this guy has seen that they're popular and tried to cash in on it. Genoria, Antifa Supersoldier, which is that is, yeah, no, this is just as, I always sort of struggle a little bit what to call the live streams. And I was just thinking of what's been in the news this week. And yeah, I was just talking about it. It's a guy with a joke Twitter account who made a joke about Antifa super soldiers beheading people in the town square, and a whole bunch of completely fucking stupid ultra right wingers took it at face value and said, "Oh no! See, I told you Antifa is bad. They're going to behead white people in the town square." Just like, you can't parody these people. Really. Like, you know, because okay, on YouTube I try to do parody and satire and humor, and people say, "Oh, is that like Trump? That must just be like gold for you." No, he's so fucking hard to parody because the actual things that come out of his mouth and his actual actions are so stupid. They're so hard to actually parody. Like, how do you parody someone who is that stupid? It's like mind-boggling how fucking twisted he is. Chinoria did Newsweek tweet about the Antifa super soldiers. It's like, you know, it's such a bizarre story. It's oh wait, all right, there must be. I was just thinking. Okay, there must be something wrong with the Twitter app on my phone because it won't refresh. Twitter was out for a while today, but I'm looking at my desktop and it's fine. Okay, fair enough. So yeah. I mean, yeah, that's always a bit scary if Twitter goes down. It's like, no, Twitter can't go down. It has to be there. I can't function if Twitter's not there. But I think it's back now. So it was gone for a little while, but now it's back. Okay, go away, Twitter app. Okay, no, that's a good point. Aussie Gun Bunny, I could bring back the masks, the slow character, Mr. Boring, and just with the was looking at the Trump speech. Stop. I support him. I just don't understand. Biora, yes, there were a lot of good Halloween costumes, and yeah, the guy who went as Richard Spencer being punched, he looked a little bit like Richard Spencer and got that weird haircut that the Nazis favor, and yeah, he had a giant foam fist. When he kept posing for pictures, going, yes, that was a good costume. I liked that. You got to love people who are that creative, basically. Although, you know who's not creative? The people who write for news outlets and online sites, where they all said the same things. They would post a picture of an admittedly good Halloween costume and go, "This guy wins Halloween." Well, no. I've seen a dozen people declared as the winner of Halloween, and I wasn't aware, A, there was a competition, B, there were official judges, but the judges don't seem able to agree on who won. Hey Toby, how you doing? Oh, Aussie Gun Bunny, which Papadopoulos guy are you following? The actual guy who got indicted, because I would imagine he hates Trump, but I doubt I'm willing to be corrected, but I doubt he's saying stuff on Twitter, because when you're under FBI indictment, you don't make public statements unless you're a colossal fucking moron. But I did see there are other people like with the same name as that guy, Papadopoulos guy, who got indicted, and they're like, no, it's not me. Honestly, please stop tweeting at me. Yeah, okay, yeah, I did see that. Aussie Gun Bunny. I reckon anyone who had that same name as that guy got indicted, Papadopoulos, even if they didn't hate Trump, well, they would now. Burio, I think you're right about Trump's family hating him, but I think the key thing is Trump hates himself. And that's the ultimate irony. The way he acts out, that's just like the action. Everything he does is the actions of a deeply unhappy man, someone who really, really doesn't like themselves or their life. It's like, it is really bad. I'm just going to check if this went out on the socials. I'm going to check my Twitter feed. Oh, I did. Okay. So that's there. So that's good. I might just put it on Facebook. I have to open Facebook to do that. You know, I'm on top of shit. Okay, don't ever let it be said that I let shit get away from me, because I'm on top of this shit right now. Let me see. I've just got to put a thing here. Oh man, why is that taking so long to respond? I don't like that. Right. Okay. Let us. All the Halloween stuff's gone, of course, on Facebook. So now I have to decide what background to choose. That's the arrow one. That's a pretty good one. Sunrise or sunset. The big X. The big X is just kind of negative. Rainbow colors. That's. Oh, Day of the Dead. Of course, yeah. There's that. A little abstract. Frame. Oh, there's still a Diwali one. How long does Diwali go on for? I thought it was only one day. I haven't seen that. I'm going to do that one just because I haven't seen it. The peace symbols on Facebook. And I do that. And yeah, okay. So the Antifa Supersoldier World Takeover live stream continues. It's all good. Okay, so. Okay, you guys went there. It's about Trump hating himself, wearing a gimp suit and self-flagellating. You know, that's him on a good day, I think. I mean, maybe that's the only thing that keeps wife number 3 away. I just totally blanked on his wife's name, Melania. Yeah, maybe she does actually put him in a gimp suit, whip him. You know, and that's what keeps her around. Because God, I mean, okay, you're talking about maybe bad mental image of Donald Trump in a gimp suit whipping him. There is, I have real trouble working up a grosser mental image in my head than Donald Trump having sex. That's just like, that's nightmare inducing. That's just hideous on so many levels. Just the, you know, psychologically, physically, emotionally, just one of the worst things I can imagine. Aussie Gun Bunny, does he like golden showers? Well, here's the thing. I think that whole thing about the pee tape with the sex workers in Russia, I'm almost convinced that's a real thing. But the rumor was that what the dossier said was that he paid the sex workers to piss on the bed that he wasn't in. He wanted to watch them piss, so he liked to watch. And somehow in his head, because the hotel room he was in was one that the Obamas had previously stayed in, and in his mind, the sex workers pissing on the bed that Obama had slept in years previously was somehow getting back at Obama. I mean, Trump's really not very smart. He is honestly not a smart man. He is in fact barely competent. He's you know, he's slid down a long way on the Dunning-Kruger graph to, like, he's well into the so stupid he doesn't know how stupid he is area. I think he likes, like, a, you get, if you did one of those 4 quadrant things, and one was like is actually smart, and that way is knows they're smart, and so this way, no, it's like is actually smart, thinks they're smart. This way is don't think they're smart, and this way isn't smart. You do get some people who are quite smart who know they're smart, and you get some people who are quite smart who have a lot of self-doubt. Trump is very much on the not smart but thinks he's smart side. Like, a lot of people who aren't smart know they aren't particularly smart. But the disturbing ones, and this is the ones that the researchers Dunning and Kruger identified, are certain people who are so stupid or so unqualified they aren't capable of understanding how stupid and how unqualified they are, which is really disturbing. And yes, cheery thought, as you say, David, this is the person with his hand on the nuclear button. And we keep hearing all these rumors about how people try to keep the nuclear football away from him. That's what they call the case, where the president would give, push buttons and turn a key to give a launch order if he got it. So the 2 rumors that have got around, one is that people try and keep the nuclear football away from him, and the other one is senior people in the administration have told senior people in the military, if you get a launch order from Trump, don't follow it until you get one of us corroborating it. Which is interesting. Like, on one level you'd go, well, I hope someone's doing that. I hope someone is actively stopping him from doing a nuclear launch. But that's completely illegal. To actually get in Trump's way, to interfere with his executive power to do this, is actually illegal. It's a really serious crime, in fact. So, yeah, that's a cheery thought, isn't it? We're only protected from Trump's impulsiveness and stupidity to the degree to which some people are willing to break the law. So yeah, that's a really cheery thought, isn't it? I'll stop talking about Donald Trump having sex, because I think I traumatized Megaleech in particular when I was saying that, and start talking about how Donald Trump's going to kill us all by starting a nuclear war. And even if he didn't do a launch, it's just like, if he, although it's stopped recently for some reason, but if he continued with those stupid taunts against North Korea, like, Kim Jong-un is unstable too. I'm not a fan of Kim Jong-un. When I criticize Trump with the stupid shit he's saying about North Korea, that's not because North Korea is great, you should leave them alone. No. Yeah, Kim Jong-un is freaky and unstable and is starving to death his own populace, and it's criminal what happens in North Korea. But I don't want to, like, even if a conflict started with North Korea, even a contained conflict, even if it didn't go nuclear, right? Even if they just launched conventional missiles and artillery, fucking South Korea would get pounded by artillery, short, medium, and long-range artillery, and they have missiles that could hit Japan, and they don't like Japan. They do that just for something to do. And yeah, it's not like North Korea would win a conflict, but honestly, the best case scenario is millions of people dead and really, really severe damage to the world's economy. The worst case scenario is if it did go nuclear and you got into tens of millions dead. Well, actually, no, the worst case scenario is it spiraling out across the entire world because China takes it as provocation, and then America and China end up at war, and then we're all seriously fucked and humanity's over. A mid-range bad outcome is tens of millions dead and the world economy completely cratering. So that's all really cheery, isn't it? Tabby Tracker, yes, he's just a toddler. You're spot on about him needing to go in timeout. Celtic King, religious tracts. Funny you should ask. Not recently, but I've still got one I haven't opened. For those who didn't know, Toby sent me 3 packages, and I've only opened 2 of them. So, seeing you ask, Celtic King, I'm going to open another one. Aussie Gun Buddy, you're right. Is the North Korea shit just a distraction? Well, look, if you want a hint of what they're trying to distract us from, look at the indictments that were handed out on Monday, particularly Manafort's. As Trump actually accurately said, the stuff in the indictment on Manafort was about years before he worked for Trump, not about Trump. Yes, and if you think that's all that's happening, you're stupid. So I don't know if Trump's just blustering or if he's stupid enough to think, well, they've only got Manafort on stuff that's got nothing to do with me. So I'm saying, no, FBI is basically making it public. We have enough on Manafort to put him away for 10, 15 years. So you best believe he's singing like a canary. So if you're in the Trump administration, right about now is when you should come running to the FBI and say, hey, don't investigate and prosecute me because I've got some dirt on someone more important than me. That's the game from here on in. Lessen what happens to you by turning in someone else. This is how law enforcement works. From beat cops who bust street corner, well, they bust a drug user to get their street corner dealer. They bust that dealer to get their distributor. They bust that distributor to get their supplier with the aim of getting the suppliers Mr. Big. That's how it works. And what the FBI have done, have got a couple people who were probably easy targets in the Trump administration, and they've scared everyone else. Oh, good day to you too, Mike. Oh, look, there's a letter in this one. I didn't know you'd sent me a letter. Toby, thank you for that. Okay, Lord Angry, thank you. Hope you like these packages full of soul-saving tracts and books. I do. In these packages, you're receiving books from Seventh-day Adventist Church. You go through a website. Jehovah's Witnesses and Restored Church of God, who broke off from the same church as the United Church of God. I do hope you're enjoying these packages, even if it's just for the collection. I do enjoy them. I really do. I think everyone watching this, if it's a video, should send our Lord and God AngryAussie package in a few letters of praise. I possibly have enough religious tracts at the moment. You know, you'd think I'd never say that, but I might have enough religious tracts now. Send to Angry's PO Box a letter to AngryAussie and Viola to show 3 of them. We find them to be 3 awesome individuals, particularly AngryAussie fellow who, as Vini put it, is holding AngryAussie back from knowing God. Look, several parts of that sentence from Toby were absolutely true. You should send letters to AngryAussie and Viola because they are awesome. And it is true, I am holding AngryAussie back from God. Those things are all true. We thank you for that, Angry, because anyone who wants AngryAussie knowing that deity is either VD level unbalanced and crazy or ignorant of who Yahweh really is. You should also sign Angry up to any religious mailing service so you can keep obtaining books. Seriously, they're going to come looking for me. If I keep getting more and more books, they're going to come looking for me, I think. Coming week or two, I want to try a hold of a local Mormon missionary, see if we can get a Book of Mormon to send to me. Don't know if they'll be willing to do so, considering I don't want to lie to them about the fact you might read it because you view them as the Ralph Wiggum of Christianity. True, I have said that multiple times. Mormons are the Ralph Wiggum of Christianity. I've read the whole Book of Mormon, took the missionary lessons, and I'm attending a local chapel's Book of Mormon study. They fit that description perfectly. Dude, you're really dedicated to finding out about them. It's a complete shame people do not see how paper-thin church's stupidity is, and their founder, Joseph Smith Jr., was not a narcissistic hunt for the sex, power, and money he could get. Missionaries I had were intelligent young women. They at least have gone to the Church University, Brigham Young University, so hopefully I'll be able to get you one. Then you have a complete Book of Mormon scriptures. I do, because Toby's got me all these other Mormon scriptures. So if I had the Book of Mormon, I'd have a whole set. So hopefully I'll be able to get you this one, then you have a complete set. If I can't get you one, send you mine. As only read it, Book of Mormon study, just once a week. I also have the Mormon scripture app on my phone, so you ever do, there you go. You got a Mormon app on your phone. What else do you need in life if you've got a Mormon app on your phone? I'm working on a letter outlining the structure of the Angry Cult. Good on you, buddy. Started, but I have been busy, so I haven't completed it yet. Still in the Angry Grotto. The long-term viewers will know we studied the Church of Satan, and we kind of liked the way they were structured. So we might borrow some of that. Hope all you viewers like the letter. I do like this letter. Proclaiming as Angry Lord, AngryAussie is our angry savior. That's fair. And like the angry prayer, I'll include in this package. It's angry scripture. All praise to the Lord AngryAussie, Lord and Savior AngryAussie. That's how AngryAussie survived all that shit. Should have killed him. He's our Lord and Savior. Look, there are some powers at work with AngryAussie. There's no two ways about it. The evidence is, in fact, he's still alive and occasionally able to commune with us over the holy service of AngryAussie's channel. I notice I'm rambling all, so I'll leave the letters here so it doesn't dwarf the video. You're like, dude, this is like a 10th the length of VD's letters. Hope you like the packages. I do. Give AngryAussie, Viola, Angry family regards. Hope AngryAussie's well. Thanks for producing videos, live stream. You're awesome. You're also terminally Toby. Thank you, Toby. So Toby's working on scripture. Our angry which art in Melbourne, angry be thy name. Thy anger done, thy angry will be done in Australia as in Melbourne. Give us this day our daily shut the fuck up. Forgive us our non-angriness as we forgive our non-angry trolls. Lead us not into calmness, but lead us from VD level narcissism. For thine is the angriness, the awesomeness, gauziness forever. Dude, that is so good. That is really good. I really like that. And I've also got okay. Jahatma saying Kevin the Spacey Marines. I'm with you, Aussie Gun Bunny. So angry at Kevin Spacey. He's such a piece of shit. Firstly, that he fucking assaults 14-year-old boys, and then does the double whammy of trying to get away with it. Of I was drunk and don't remember it. Like, cool, you get drunk and sexually assault underages. Cool, good on you, buddy. And then going, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gay. Distraction. And it's like, no, you're a piece of shit, Kevin Spacey. And I speak as someone who was a Kevin Spacey fan, liked his work, but he's a piece of shit. He really fucking is on multiple levels. Ooh. Now this is intriguing. Look at this. This book that Toby's included in the package, Bible readings for the home. What's, oh, okay, they've tried to, why not just the Bible? Why Bible readings? But you know, they've tried to group and think, yeah, oh, damn it, your mum tried to do Macbeth and was a fan, now she's mad. Yeah, no, I think we can all agree Kevin Spacey's a piece of shit, and this is really disappointing. Like, and here's the interesting thing, because we're like, okay, when fucking Harvey Weinstein and these other people in Hollywood were getting outed as being serial abusers, it was really bizarre to see arch conservatives going, there's a disease. People on Fox News, where they lost the head of the network and the highest ranking presenter, Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly, for years of sexual harassment. Like, they had paid out millions. They had paid out literal millions of dollars to cover up serial sexual assaults by this pair. And these people were shamelessly going, oh, Hollywood's got a problem. Like, fucking Fox News doesn't. And of all things, Donald Trump Jr. trying to get mileage out of it. Like, dude, your fucking father openly boasted of being a serial sexual assaulter. There's a whole chain of women accusing him of sexual assault and rape, but he himself proudly boasted of being a serial sexual assaulter. And you think you can get mileage out of it? What the fuck is wrong with these people? And yeah, you're right, Bjori. Kevin Spacey trying to deflect by going, yeah, I'm gay, and everyone going, no, get fucked, dude. And the dude who came out, he's in the new series of Star Trek, and at the time he was a stage actor. He was a 14-year-old stage actor in New York when Spacey assaulted him. And that dude, he had nothing to gain by telling his story and everything to lose. Kevin Spacey's really powerful figure, and this guy isn't. And for him to come forward and say, no, I've been traumatized for years by the way Kevin Spacey assaulted me, and for Spacey to just say, oh, I was drunk, I don't remember, and, ooh, I'm gay, look over there, deflecting, I'm gay. No, he's a piece of shit. Toby, I did, look, you said you sent another one. I got 3 packages. How many did you send altogether? I got 3 packages, and I did get another notice saying there was another package, and I forgot for a couple of days ago, but then I went back, and the dude at the, and there was a card in my post office box saying there was a parcel, and the dude said, oh no, wait, did you come and get some? Because you had 3. That's what this is about. I'm going, no, I picked up those 3, and then I got another notification a couple of days later, and he's going, no, there's no more. But so how many did you send altogether? Was it 3 or 4? because I'll go back if it was 4. But yeah, I don't know if that guy was confused or if I'm confused. Ooh, importance of obedience. See, this is where I'm going to find out being disobedient. What came from their disobedience? Wow. Okay, so if you disobey, there went out fire from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. So, okay, don't be disobedient, or you get devoured. Okay, you did send a 4th one, Toby. Okay, I will go back. I will go back and say, I think you have another package for me. If I remember, I'll try and remember tomorrow. Ooh, this is interesting. Science and health with key to the scriptures. I should give this to Aidsy. He needs health and science. So what's the basis of this book? Okay, many who have deeply loved the truths of the Bible have hungered for a better understanding of them. What impelled the faith of men like Moses, David, Daniel, most of all Christ Jesus? Mary Baker Eddy clearly discerned in the scriptures the superiority of spiritual power and the material. So this book is a Christian, it's Christian Scientists. I've never really read Christian Scientist stuff. Studied together with the Bible. This was first published in 1875. That's really cool. This was published in 1875. So this is going to have some crazy shit in it. Whips and chains. Not in the package. Maybe whips and chains about. Hey, Petit Wallaby, how are you? Oh, because you're with the French Canadian Petit Wallaby. Mike, Christian Scientist. Yeah, that's an interesting name. I don't know how they define themselves. See, there's 2 things. There's the actual sect or cult or whatever the fuck you want to call them, the Christian Scientists. But I mean, look, okay. Christian scientist isn't an oxymoron. Lots of scientists are Christians because lots of people don't let their religion get in the way of thinking critically and objectively and searching for answers. Because a lot of people into the sciences are Christian and they see, that they think this is all God's creation, but there's a logic and structure to it all. And they look for the meaning behind it and where things come from, understand evolution, understand the creation of life and stuff. They don't believe in the hocus pocus magic God, but if that's how they see the world, that's fine. I'm only ever bothered by when people are Christian if they use that as an excuse to try and restrict knowledge and punish people for knowledge. As I was saying, I've seen variations of this online a lot. It's perfectly okay if you choose in following your religion to say, I don't do that because my religion doesn't allow me to do it. It's like, okay, if you want to go down that route, you go down that route. What's not acceptable is you can't do that because my religion forbids it. No, you don't get to stop other people based on your interpretation of Magic Man in the Sky. If you want to lead your life based on your interpretation of your invisible friend in the sky, fine, do it, go for it. But you don't get to dictate to other people, you can't do these things because I'm convinced my magic friend in the sky doesn't want you to do it. That's ridiculous. Megalich, you never reinstalled your editing software on a new PC. You're right, dude. That is laziness. If you ever come to Melbourne, we should do another video. But the thing. Well, Jahatma, some people can compartmentalize their brain really well. Like, I don't think someone who was a ultra loony conservative. Like anyone who does the world 6,000 years old is clinically insane as far as I'm concerned. Like I'm not even gonna mince words. Anyone who goes with the story of creation is literally true. God created the world in 7 days, and that was 6,000 years ago. I just think that's clinically insane. But I think some very conservative Christians are capable of compartmentalizing their brain a lot. Like they can work in the sciences, but they'll only work in a very defined area, and they keep their religion over here and their really weird backward ideas over here. And they go, okay, over here in this one area that I'm studying, like I can't imagine a really conservative Christian working, in the field of evolution or whatnot, or looking at the Big Bang and stuff, because they won't believe that no matter how much evidence there is. But there are other areas of the sciences where you can just be really narrowly focused. But I think it's just, it's how people compartmentalize their brain. It's the big danger is thinking everyone would think like, okay, if you go, I'm an intelligent person, and as an intelligent person, this is how I perceive the world. This is how I perceive science versus religion or not. The danger is because if you think, because I'm an intelligent person and I see the world like this, all intelligent people see the world like this, and anyone who doesn't see the world like this is not intelligent. And that's simply not true. And of course, okay, intelligence is to a degree very subjective thing, but like someone who can be very good at sciences, mathematics, and whatnot can have very stupid ideas in other areas. So it's people. A lot of people pretend intelligence is an objective and measurable thing, but pretty much all measurements of intelligence are subjective. You're measuring it within a particular framework, within a particular worldview, and some people just don't fit into that framework. So, what's that? Divinum Fernum. Many organized religions exist where followers believe it's their duty to reshape society. Yes, you are absolutely right. And those people are scary as fuck. Like the evangelical Christians, so common in the US, who full on want to bring about Armageddon because they believe that's the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. And that's how they'll get eternal life if Armageddon comes by. So you and I are worried about things like, severe climate change or nuclear war or whatnot. Some of these people virtually advocate for it because in their mind, Armageddon is a good thing because it's their ticket to eternal life. And this is, I've talked about this before. This is one of the funny or weird things is these evangelical Christians being really fervent supporters of Israel, and not because they like Israel or Jews, because they don't, they think they're all going to hell, but their interpretation of biblical prophecy requires Israel to exist, because that's all part of the entire thing with the rise of the Antichrist and blah, 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 blah. So they require Israel to exist so their version of Armageddon can happen, which is scary as fuck. And of course, the powers that be in Israel exploit that for all it's worth. And what that's worth is hundreds of millions of dollars of support from America. Yes, Divinium, that Tony Abbott is not to be listened to on anything. his rantings on both climate change and marriage equality have gotten so stupid that there's no point in responding to it at all. It's absolutely absurd. And Aussie Gun Bunny, you're right. Those evangelicals are crazy motherfuckers incorporated. It's just, they literally want Armageddon to happen. But Timothy, how's it going, sexy man? Thank you. My man meat is sexy and doing well. Thank you very much for noticing. I do like to keep my sexy man meat in trim. All right, David, I think Tony Abbott's done that thing where for the longest time everything about him was pragmatism and politics, but he's always been a bit of an extremist. And I think at a certain point he started to believe his own bullshit. Like, he was spinning bullshit just for political gain for a long time. But I think at a certain point, he started to believe his own bullshit, and he just spiraled off into the land of the mentally unwell. I think I genuinely think he has a lot of trouble with reality. Here's the thing. I think getting offed by Malcolm Turnbull, I think that broke him. I think that broke something inside him. Like, he was just being Mr. Wrecking Ball for a couple of years in opposition and just smashing, going, yeah, look, it's working. I'm smashing and I'm smashing and I'm smashing. And I never should have been leader of this party, but I am. And if I just keep smashing and smashing and smashing, I'll be king of the ruins. And lo and behold, it came to pass. He became king of the ruins, and he's like, woo, I'm in charge. And then he continued to act like an arsehole, and everyone basically decided, I really don't like him. He's really, really an asshole. And to the point where the almost unprecedented event happened that the Liberal Party knocked off a sitting Prime Minister, placed him with Turnbull. And I seriously think he did not see that as a possibility. It was like he had his worldview was solidifying. I mean, it was bloody calcifying. It was fossilizing. And it was so far outside his worldview, it broke him. And I think, okay, I've got to see what's bothering Aussie Gun Bunny. Oh yeah, no, the fridge is not flush on the wall. The fridge is not flush on the wall. There's a gap. Probably should push back, but that was at the back and it's fallen, so it looks super weird. Yes, and because I don't even drink tonic water, so it just sits there. Mrs. Angry likes gin and tonic sometimes. That's why there's tonic water there. Hey, speaking of which, I should make myself a drink. This one's all stuff. Just have to decide what to make myself. Really? Got such choice. Mike, that's a good summary of what happened to Abbott. He was such a massive arsehole, the Council of Arseholes decided to replace him with a different arsehole. And that hasn't really worked out all that well for them. But hey, arseholes get what they deserve. So I think I've got a choice like this: absinthe, and there's some rosewater vodka, and some blueberry vodka, and I think I've got some bourbon, and I think I got some spicy bourbon, and I got some caramel. I've got such a lot. Look, Aussie Gun Bunny, I will do you a solid and move it so it doesn't look so weird. So I've got to get up and get some ice anyway, and decide what to drink. Oh, and I got my elderflower liqueur there. I'm so spoiled for choice because I just surround myself with alcohol. Dividium, yeah. You're also, yeah, Abbott's a sleaze. Thing, apparently having that whole Trump thing about fancying his own daughters. But that thing he did when he was on the radio interview with a woman calling saying because there was no support from the government, she was doing sex work. Timothy thinks I should drink absinthe. I've got my red absinthe, which makes for a very visual appealing drink. I might do it with a bit of lemon juice, you know. So I've got to get some ice first. Okay. Fix this for Aussie Young Bunny because it's doing his head in. Get some ice. Okay. This. What's my lemon juice there? Okay. I've got all my components now. Ugh, where's my jigger? This stuff's, oh, there. I've got to have a proper measure on that because it's too strong to free pour. It's dangerous. This this bottle holds approximately 41 standard drinks. You can see I have knocked off a little bit of it. Yeah. Yes, Aussie Gun Bunny. The lips licking was so gross. No, he did. He licked his lips and winked. The wink was the big thing. It was just like, oh my God. And my favorite bit, because he was doing a radio interview, but there were cameras there. And look, there was at least a video camera there. And you could tell he forgot momentarily that there was a camera there. But because when the woman on the phone said she did phone sex for work, he did a wink to the thing. And you could see this look of horror on his face. Like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But oh, he's just awful. Abbott is just awful. Yes, Toby, I like a lot of drink in my ice. I also like a lot of ice in my drink. Put a little bit more lemon juice in there. I like a bit of lemon juice in my drink too. And now I'll top it off. Oops, we'll do this. Just rinse out my little jigger with some lemonade. There we go. That's all sorted. Mixy. I'm really sophisticated, mixing with my finger. It's a nice color, isn't it? Okay, I don't know what color it looks to you. To me, it's a very pinky, peachy color. But when I look at it on the monitor, it's very orange. Mike, I don't like to be without alcohol. I don't like to be without choices. It suits my mood. Yeah, I thought it looked orange on my monitor. It's in real life, it's much sort of more rosy, peachy color. Oh yeah, this I am sold on these colored absinthes. They make they make for nice colors in the drink. G'day, Grasshopper. How are you doing? Wolf, it looks like rich Fanta. That's I am. I'm a very straight edge. I'm just drinking Fanta. Okay, so that's something about my webcam doing very true to life. I'm also, my skin's not really that color either. I think my skin's a slightly more normal color than it looks on there. Ah, yes. Okay, that is among the more Aussie sayings, Grasshopper. When someone says, how are you? Say, can't complain, mate. No one would listen. Oh dear. Yes. Oh yes. Metal Maniac Matt, ice cubes. Gotta have my ice cubes. Timothy Hatton, ever thought of having a fan meetup party night? I organise meetups all the time in Melbourne, like every month or two, with other YouTubers, and we normally meet during the day, hang out, you know, maybe shoot videos, doing, and then maybe go out and have some dinner and drinks later. I do that on a semi-regular basis. I'm at 9:15. That's cool. Give me about half an hour to drink my drink. Oh, Grasshopper, I'm with you 100%. I grew up very bogan area of New South Wales, Dubbo in Western New South Wales. Ooh, light bulb decanters, Mike. I like it. I've got a skull motif happening in my house. We got a whole bunch of skull decanters. I don't know if you can even see, you probably can't even see that, but that's like a skull pint glass. Look, we're all from country areas. Yeah. Oh, Wagga Wagga. Oh yeah, Junie. Yep. And then an ex-girlfriend came from Wagga Wagga. In-laws in Junie. Belinda, yes, you're going to have a state election in Queensland on November 25th. Ah, Grasshopper. Okay, Macquarie Fields. That is a notoriously bogan area west of Sydney. Yes. Petit Wallaby, you should think of me whenever you see a skull-shaped bottle. I used to go to the PCYC. I used to go to the PCYC. Aussie Gumbo. Did boxing and stuff. Timothy's in Bayswater. Okay. Belinda's in Ipswich. See, we're from all over. Ah, Matt, there's a live streaming community. Yeah, look, I'd be interested in people who were better at live streaming than me. How to build live streaming, because live streaming is so much fun. That's why I keep doing it. That's why I try and do it at least once or twice a week, because it's so much fun. I like that as a turn of phrase, David. Turnbull's an empty man who bends with the breeze. Yes. Miss Foxification's in Darwin. I have visited Darwin. Toby, should we box each other? No, dude, I am too old. And see, this is the thing. When you're young, you get hurt and you go, ow. Like, even if you break a bone and then you're okay 6 weeks later. Like, if I broke my arm or broke my leg, I'd still be fucked up 6 months later. It's like, you just don't heal as fast when you're old. Yeah, Matt, I feel like I should use Twitch. Why did I pick up a pair of scissors and start pointing them at you? That's really threatening. Shouldn't do that. Oh, Petit Wallaby, was that the mini skull sample bottles? Was that Crystal Head vodka? I actually got some of them duty free last time I was overseas. And I got them because they were cute. Mike, you're actually born in Redfern. Oh, yeah, now you're in Wodonga, Ballarat. Yeah, that's pretty bogan, mate. Wodonga and Ballarat, pretty bogan. Bourbon and cola. Hey, look, I don't know about David. If you're a bourbon drinker, have you ever tried it with lemon? Really good, like a whiskey sour, bourbon and lemon juice. I found this in the supermarket the other day. You go solo, but this one they call extreme lemon. It's got less sugar and is more lemony. And this with bourbon is actually really good. Might sound a bit weird to you, but lemon flavored drinks like either lemon juice with bourbon is good. Toby, you're from Tarara. If I was young, would I box you? Look, I actually found boxing really good. I mean, I can still throw a punch. Like, I still know how to throw a punch properly and whatnot. But yeah, I would bruise way too easily. And also, I'm now old and slow. So it would just beat me up too much. And Belinda's drinking 4X Gold. That's very Queensland of you, Belinda. Nice. Very nice. Omega Leech. Well, he's paid you to buy some solo. Okay. Well, I tell you what. No, I just found that because I'm always looking for mixer drinks. And that lemon drink with bourbon is really nice. Oh, there must be a break in the viewing. And it's snack time. You want to see the reflection. Ah, ice cream was left in the freezer. I see. I see. Oh, and milk. Okay. Yes, it's late night snack time. Not that late, but fair enough. Grasshopper, you can send me an email anytime. It's I'll just type the email. If you, I'll get that email. It's AngryAussie@gmail.com. I will also, as won't surprise anyone, I also own the email address AngryAussie. But because there was this phase of YouTube doing weird shit with linking email addresses and YouTube addresses, obviously because I have the YouTube channel AngryAussie, I would have the email address AngryAussie, and it got the association between the email address and my YouTube account got broken, and I had to make up another email address. Stupid. Like, I'm a fidgeter. They're sitting. I use them to open the mail, and now I fidget with them. I am such a fidgeter. Okay, so Megalicious is saying when the solo drink was new, there's a promotion: buy one get one free. The use of printable barcode. Fair enough. Grasshopper, you want to? Okay, you want to tell me a story of your boss at Decomp? Okay, if I get a kick out of it, I want to hear it. Oh, pity Willoughby. The whole thing where Google forced merge with YouTube and Google Plus was the worst fucking thing they ever did. And they've done a few annoying things, but the way they forced a merge with Google Plus, that was the one that annoyed me the most. Toby, did I get your package from Islam Australia? No, not yet. I will check the mail tomorrow and see if there's anything there. Okay, Grasshopper, it's cool. Okay, if you send me the email, I'll try and remember it on the next live stream. Maybe I'll read it as a story time on the next live stream. That would work. You know what I mean? If I had to draw up a list of things that Google did that were really fucking annoying to YouTube, how they just continually fuck up the comments. They can't get something as simple as threaded comments working, and I've never been able to understand why they can't get that right. So that's always annoyed me, and because they change it every now and then, and so when I get comments on my old videos, I always look at them and try and respond. Then I look at the comments on it, and it's all, there are just all these comments from me that aren't attached to the fucking comment that I commented on, and so it looks stupid and makes no sense at all, and it's really annoying. Oh, and the other thing, for some reason, I don't know, it was like a year or two ago, YouTube, Google decided to make it fucking harder to block people. And why, I don't, like, you know, once upon a time, there's a simple thing. If you wanted to block someone because of their comment, you just like, you know, there's a thing, right click and block this person, and they were blocked. And then they fucking took that away, and because of the forced merge of Google Plus and YouTube, you had to manually block them on both platforms, and it was so fucking annoying. I was like, oh my God. So Megalich, you got Woolies paid you because they were running a double promotion. I see. You could buy 2 for $1.50 instead of 1 for $2. But they had a barcode voucher that you scanned 2 bottles and it credited you $2. Okay, so you bought 2 bottles, paid nothing, got 50 cents change. Okay, yep, seems like someone did not think that promotion through at all. Yeah, misfoxification. I don't know if Google Plus even exists in any real way at the moment. Sometimes those fringe social media platforms have really thriving subcultures. Like, they're not mainstream, but there's some people who are all over it. I remember that cartoon. I think it was an Altered comic. Google Plus hugging its father, which is Google, saying, "Daddy, why doesn't anyone like me?" And Google says, "I don't know, but I'll make them." Dude, Mega Leech, if I saw a promotion like that for Solo Extreme, I'd buy a shit ton of them, because, as I said, I've discovered it's a good mixer. It with bourbon is really good, and I'm sure it'll go with other things as well. David, you went there. Crystal Head sounds like the name of a porn star. I've got 2 decanters that used to be Crystal Head vodka, and a bunch of little ones that are about this big. So I've actually got, okay, look, I'll show you. I've got 3 sizes of skull decanters. So if I bring them over, so there are these smaller ones. These are actually from like a $2 shop, and they're really good. I've seen some different ones. These ones I've seen in a couple different $2 shops, and these are really good, and they hold about 500 mils, 500 mils, 600 mils. These are really good. This is the actual bottle that Crystal Head vodka comes in. That's like a herby alcohol I made, in herb infused vodka in there, or maybe spiritus. Let's smell it, see if I can work out what it is. No, I can't work out which one it is, but that's a herb infused alcohol. So this is, you see, this one's smaller. This is from a $2 shop. This is Crystal Head vodka. So that's like a 700 ml bottle. I think this is about 500 mils. And then in a $2 shop where I found the small ones, there's also a bigger one. It was a big decanter. So that's the Crystal Head one, which is smaller than that. A big decanter with a couple of shot glasses in it at all. And so that's the small one. And the other one, Evil Harb. Yeah, it does. It looks like a urine sample, doesn't it? That's lemon verbena vodka. And I think that one is caramel vodka. No, wait, that's the caramel vodka. What does this one smell like? I think that might be bacon bourbon, actually. I think that's bacon bourbon. And I think this one's caramel vodka. So smell it. Oh yeah, it smells like caramel. That's caramel vodka. And oh look, I'll show you the tiny ones. These are the tiny ones. This is tiny Crystal Head vodka. This is normal Crystal Head vodka. This is tiny Crystal Head vodka. There's a big party here, Miss Foxification. It's just me. This is just 50 mils. I got this at duty free. They do sell some, they're really expensive, some big Crystal Head vodka. They're like a litre or something. I think they cost you like $200 in Australia. Yes, Mike, you remember when I was drinking Maple Macon Flurban? Yes, yes. You can tell when I've had a few, because I start calling it Maple Macon. Maple Macon Bourbon. Toby, I might be a dancer. Yes, did I like porn? I know, I like porn. I was going to say everyone likes porn. Well, I guess not everyone does, but I think everyone's got something they find sexy. Yeah, porn. I'm flexible, I guess. Flexible, but yeah. So, but you know, in simple terms, I guess I don't really need it that much being in a relationship. But yes, I've been single I've been single for extended periods. And yes, so you don't want details. Trust me, you don't want details. We'll just leave it at that. Ugh. But it was here, guys. I had to leave work early today, which made me very sad. About 1:30. Turns out both my kids are sick. Got like a stomach bug. Oh, Mega Leech, definitely. If you've got a photo of us, I mean, even if you just send me a scan, that would be cool. Love it, definitely. Little mementos of various times. Yes. So I was saying, I had to leave work early today. Call from my daughter. She's in lots of pain to the point where she was freaking out at how much pain she's in, and she wanted to go to hospital, like emergency casualty. And I said I'd come home, and I convinced her, let's go to a DP. That'll be faster. And turns out that because both my kids, tummy bug gave them diarrhea, but she'd been taking Imodium to keep it in check, and the doctor told her, you've taken Imodium for too long. And I get that you didn't want to have the squirts, but there's something in your body that wants to come out, and the Imodium's blocked you all up, and that's why you're getting these really painful cramps. So you're just going to have to stop taking the Imodium, regardless of the effect. So I'm hoping I don't get it, quite honestly. And with both my kids having it, that does not bode well for me, quite honestly. So I'm hoping to avoid it. But I did. Bunch of people were off work with gastro, and I avoided it. Now both my kids got. It'll be a bloody miracle if I avoid it, but I am quite hopeful of avoiding it. So we will see what happens. I mean, oh man, this weekend, date night with Mrs. Angry. We're going to see the new Thor movie, Ragnarok, in the gold class, and have a few cocktails beforehand because we're classy motherfuckers. That's what I like, because those who know Melbourne, there's a mall called the Jam Factory on Chapel Street, has a village cinema. They do gold class, and they've just opened this cocktail bar next to gold class. You can have a couple of cocktails before the movie, and because the movie is over 2 hours long, sober up while the movie's on, then you can drive home again. Cool, thanks, Megalich. Yeah, Grasshopper, I am looking forward to seeing it. Managed to avoid spoilers. You have a 2-for-1 pass for Jigsaw. I've watched the first Saw movie. I actually bought a box set on a sale a while back. And I've only watched the first one. I think it's got, don't remember if it's got 3 or, these are bad. I don't remember if it's got 3 or 5 Saw movies in it. But I've only watched the first one. So I know, but my favorite thing about Saw is it's Aussie lads done good. Just a lot of Aussie lads who liked the slasher films got to go to Hollywood and make their own slasher film, which is freaking awesome. Oh no, I'll tell you a funny story actually. One of the 2 guys who created the Saw film and others, Lee Wannell. If you're as old as me, you might remember Lee Wannell being on a Saturday morning TV show on the ABC. But he ended up becoming quite the successful filmmaker. But anyway, so Mrs. Angry's son, who was the one who was in here getting snacks a little while ago, he had a problem with a kid at school. I think this was in primary school. So these are kids, they're 10, 11 years old, and a kid being a bit freaky and saying freaky stuff, leaving notes like, I'm going to cut your head off, and the weird, there's like some weird shit going on with this kid. And so there was a talk with the principal about this weird fucking kid who's saying all this freaky shit, And you know, nothing ever happened. Like nothing came of it. It was just this weird talk. And there was talk of the home life and what was going on there and how messed up it might have been. And one of the teachers told a story about, she'd been teaching for ages. She, oh yes, I had a problem years ago. There was this boy in the class, and I found his notebook, and it was all pictures of decapitated bodies and blood and gore, and there was something not right with him. I wanted something done about him, but the parents said there was nothing wrong with him. And it turns out this was Lee Wannell. And so from primary school, Lee Wannell was a weird motherfucker who was obsessed with horror and horror imagery, to the point that his primary school teacher thought he was crazy and troubled and needed to be looked into. And rather than let people sort of smash him down and conform, he continued being a weirdo into horror all through his teen years, and as an adult became a really successful horror filmmaker. So it just goes to show. That's it. Recovery. Divinium. I was trying to remember which of the shows it was. It was Recovery. He was a movie reviewer. Lee Wannell was a movie reviewer on ABC's Recovery. It's interesting what you say about the Hostel movies, Divinium. And they are commonly called torture porn because there's torture in there. But there's more going on in there, because what the Hostel films are really about is money and power. They're basically saying if you have money, you can get away with anything. And there's the whole thing about, central thing of the Hostel movies is rich people pay to torture and murder kidnapped backpackers. And it's really, in Hostel 2, that whole theme about you can get whatever you want with money is really taken even further along. If you haven't seen, yes, you're right, Bury. Hostel seems to be saying don't go to Bulgaria or you'll get killed. But Hostel 2, which is set in America, I won't give anything away, but they're very good at twists, and the setup in Hostel 2 is really good. Oh yeah, Divinium. Look, if you think the Hostel movies are too gross and awful to watch, I'm completely on board with that. I think that's a completely legitimate thing to feel. But yeah, I think there's a bit more going on. But yeah, Evil Hub, you are right there. The ultimate horror movie of if you have money, you can do whatever you want is starring Donald Trump, and we're all living through that particular horror. Trying to think, what's a good horror movie? Of course, the one, it's almost too easy to say this year. Get Out was a great movie. That was a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. Yeah, it's just called Get Out. It was actually written and directed by the comedian from Key and Peele, Jordan Peele. And it's just really good. There was the one I saw from last year about the blind guy, Don't Breathe, which had some really good stuff in it, is largely good, but then went for some cheap, nasty shock stuff at the end. But the whole thing of the guy that these young people think they can burgle and rip off is just this loner old man who's blind. But it turns out, like, he's an army special ops guy, and he's really, even though he's blind, he's really dangerous. The bit where it's like, don't breathe, because when these three teenagers are broken in the house, in the room with him. Like if they don't make any noise, he can't find them. But if they make even a little bit of noise, he'll find them. The tension of those scenes is really good. Oh, misfoxification, that sounds good. Frozen. 3 people stuck on a chairlift. Stay on the lift, you die. You jump, you die. Okay, yeah, that sounds very psychological. And Evil Harp, the 1970s Omen. Yeah, the original, in fact, the original Omen trilogy is pretty good. A lot of people dump on Omen 3 as a young Sam Neill in it, as an adult Antichrist. But yeah, there is some really good creepy stuff in the original Omen film and even in the sequels. But remember why you like it though. No, okay, you're referencing something, Evil Harp, and I've clearly forgotten it. Is it because you like seeing people get beheaded, or because Patrick Troutman's in it? I don't know. I don't know why you liked it. With it sounds like you're reminding me of something we've discussed previously. Sadly, my brain doesn't work that well, so I think Megalich Event Horizon, the sci-fi movie you're talking about there, I assume. I feel like I've seen that, but I can't remember. It's got Morpheus in it. I'm blanking a bit on his real name. But if you want like sort of horror-ish sci-fi, of course the classic is Alien. The original 70s Alien, while it's a sci-fi film, is basically a haunted house movie. And more recently, there's one called Sunshine that's really good. If you haven't seen it, and Lawrence Fishburne, that's it, Megalich, yes. If you haven't seen Sunshine, that's quite worth seeing. Not a widely seen film, but it's really quite good. Toby, how would I like an angry baptism film? It has to be full immersion. I always want to do that thing that I think I saw it on Tumblr, and someone found out, yeah, you get bath bombs that foam up and whatnot. Someone found out there was a activated charcoal bath bomb, so it was black, but it foamed up. And they thought, yeah, I should get a full immersion baptism with a couple of those stuffed in my pockets, so all the water foams up black around me when I'm getting an immersion baptism. Oh, thanks, Grasshopper. I look forward to seeing your story in my emails. What do we got here? Okay, Daniel sent me a photo. That's a good photo. I remember that. Outside the discount vitamin store in Melbourne. Yes, that's a fine photo. Thank you for sending me that, Daniel. Quite appreciate getting that. Okay, who wants to hear? I've also got Grasshopper's email. Who wants to hear Grasshopper's story time? Ooh, Miss Foxification, blood red bath bombs. That's pretty good. Evil Hub, I like that. Getting a 666 tattoo on your hairline, so if a coroner shaves your head, they'll shit themselves when they see it. Thinking longer term, like, okay, extreme body mods seem relatively common these days, but in the 80s and 90s, there was Jim Rose's Sideshow Circus was a traveling show that did right, and he had a guy in his circus called the Enigma, who never spoke. They were actually on an episode of the X-Files. The Enigma was getting his entire body tattooed with a jigsaw pattern and then getting it filled in blue one at a time. And he wanted horn implants. And what he apparently did was have live coral grafted onto his skull surgically. And yeah, it's very hard to know when you hear these stories if they're actually true or not, because his theory was live coral would actually grow. So he had these little horn implants put under, and they were under his skin. So he had these bumps. He definitely had the implants done, and he had these bumps under his skin. And he had the theory that because it was live coral, it would grow, and when it grew out, he'd cut the skin away and he'd have horns growing. But there was this story that it actually grew backwards into his skull and into his brain, and they had that from her. I don't know if that's true, but he did have the horn implants done because I actually saw him with them. And in an interview, he said, the reason I bring this up, Eagle Hard, like you said, you're going to get 666 on your hairline tattoo to freak out a coroner. He was thinking longer term. He wanted to have horns growing out of his head. So, you know, when he's dead and buried, like in 100 years, someone digging him up, they'd find a skeleton with horns and think, holy fuck, we've dug up the devil. What the fuck? So that's thinking long term. That's a very long term prank. So I think that's pretty good. Screever, yes, the title for the live stream. Yes, in case you haven't picked it, that was a reference to a funny story that went around where an obvious joke tweet talking about Antifa Supersoldiers were going to cut the heads off white parents and shopkeepers got taken seriously enough. But yeah, okay, look, I'm going to give you Grasshopper's story time. So I won't mention names. So Grasshopper worked for a company, had a few stores, and Grasshopper helped run 3 of them. First time really noticed sexism in the workplace and culture in Australia. Okay, yeah, that's a real thing. So it was in one store, there was a lovely lady. She knew way more about computers than he did and was way better at diagnosing and repairing computers. But when men would walk in the store, they would ignore her and come up to Grasshopper as male. There were even several occasions where this woman got talking to them, found out what the problem was, gave them the right advice, and they'd still come to him, the man, and ask again. So obviously they weren't after a second opinion. They just didn't believe when a girl told them. So after a year or so, our man Grasshopper is, where are we? It was completely, okay, so Grasshopper's completely jack of people not paying any attention to her. So decided that if she'd given advice to someone, they still come to him for advice, tell them what she said, mate. And after 2 years, Grasshopper was promoted to area manager over Lily, which was also annoying. Anyway, this is the part that we'll apparently get a real kick off. Before I get to it, I have to explain the guy that owns and runs the company is a renowned misogynist who on several occasions warned Grasshopper against getting married because women are just after your money, even if in Grasshopper's case his wife out-earned him. So, had to help open and run a store. So this female staff member was paired up with another guy, and the guy was the best mate of the owner, and so that meant he could get away with being just shit. And so one day when working at the news store, this woman calls Grasshopper. She's really pissed off, says, what's happening? And, okay, so I like it. Without being a perv, she had rather large breasts. And this gross guy kept making comments to her about the fact she had large breasts. And he decided to get really antagonistic and he's being annoying by throwing small screws and nuts and bolts into her cleavage. And she asked him to knock it off. He said, well, don't wear like a cut top and I wouldn't have to do it. And he kept doing it, so she screamed at him to stop. And he responded, well, go and have a cry like all girls. And he apparently didn't have English as a first language. So she called to make an official complaint. So Grasshopper wrote it all up, told the boss that we have to give this guy a severe warning, if not fire him for this sexual harassment. And the owner said, leave it with me. And his solution was to fire the woman. And the reason was because she intimidated this guy by saying that what he was doing was sexual harassment. And so, okay, so this woman called Grasshopper, and he goes into work and quits, which fucking good on you. Fucking good on you taking a stand. And so she's going to take legal action with Grasshopper support. And so the boss says, get fucked. And over the next few months, took the company to court for sexual harassment, unfair dismissal, and a whole bunch of other things. They in court, and here's the kicker. And of course, the judge found 100% in favour of the woman in question. Fined the owner, made her pay all the wages and sick pay. Fined the company $50,000. Ordered the owner to go through sexual sensitivity training. I bet that went well. And you heard through the grapevine that he was going through that. He was not a happy camper. I do like that story. That's a happy ending. That's what I call a happy ending right there. That is great. So gameplay tactics, no, I am not real. I am a figment of your imagination. Hey, Aussie Brick Chick, coming in right at the end there. That was a good story, Grasshopper. I really like that. Yeah, gotta love a happy ending. Basically, obnoxious sexist jerk gets judgment against them. Fucking completely justified. Oh, good. You're still mates and still talk about it. Love it. That, again, happy endings. Gotta love that. What do you think? Jerks getting their comeuppance. Evil Hub, do I still hear from Corey? Yeah, I mean, we're friends on Facebook and stuff, and so I keep up with him. And of course, he and his lovely wife are expecting their second child, which would be exciting. I'd love to bring them out to Australia again. Well, be again for Corey, first time for his wife and kids. But not now, because they're going to have another bubba, and you want the bubba to get a bit bigger, because I haven't seen him for a while. So we'd like to, Grasshopper, we got to head out. All right. Thanks for sending me that. I did really enjoy the story, Grasshopper. So thanks for sending it, and it was fun to share. Jerks getting their comeuppance. That's what we like. That's what we like to hear. Comic. Okay, I like Biori. That line reminds you from the movie Fan Film, where the comic book reviewer says, "In fact, I'm not really here," and fades out. Evil Harp, Corey really loves farting, quite honestly. This is man. By the way, Corey, his idea of comeuppance. This is if you're going out and getting a bit messy. If you're with a group, Corey's the sort of person who plans, okay, by the end of the night, everyone is going to get messy. I'm going to conceal props to just bring out when everyone's a bit messy and freak them out, because they wonder where the fuck did that come from. But he plans like hours in advance. He goes like, okay, in a couple of hours, everyone's going to be a bit, you know, and I'm just going to pull this weird thing out of my pocket and freak everyone out. So he's a lot of fun to go out with. So misfoxification. Speaking of comeuppance, U.S. Representative Luis Gutierrez will be filing articles of impeachment on Trump. Well, that's really interesting. When we talk about Trump and impeachment, what I think sometimes you have to remind people of, in the American system, impeachment is a political process, not a legal process. It's a political process that has legal overtones, but it's a political process. Like Bill Clinton got impeached and it didn't affect him at all. He got impeached for misleading when he said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman," which was a lie. And so they impeached him based on the lie, but it had no effect on him. You won't get impeachment on Trump until Republicans are willing to do it. But what you might get is criminal charges. Because, yeah, with these actions of Mueller this week with the indictments, that does not look good for Trump at all. that's gonna like fucking hurt him. I honestly think Trump must be shitting himself. Maybe he's stupid enough to think he's untouchable, but if he's vaguely sensible, Trump would have to be shitting himself. So, yeah, actual criminal proceedings against him from the Mueller investigation, which is a fucking high possibility, quite honestly, that would be the real fun. The other fun thing occasionally I have to remind people of, when they think about US presidents and impeachment, people always think of Richard Nixon, who was facing impeachment for lying about the Watergate break-ins. And it wasn't because of the break-ins, where people that he'd organised broke into the Democratic Party headquarters at the Watergate Hotel to steal information to find out what they're up to. He was more in trouble for lying about it and covering it up than for the actual break-in. But Nixon was never impeached. He resigned before impeachment happened, and then his vice president, Ford, who replaced him, pardoned him so he couldn't ever face criminal charges. So, yeah. Evil Hub, I agree with you that the Democrats need to step the fuck up. The Democrats are weak as fuck. Weak as fuck. Yes, I do hope Trump suffers an ignoble casting out. I mean, he deserves criminal prosecution because he's clearly broken the fucking law, and he deserves criminal prosecution. But yeah, misfoxification. Is Pence in charge? See, well, Pence is a known quantity, and one of the things we know about Pence is he thinks torturing gay teenagers is a good thing to do. Torture them until they say they're not gay. He thinks that's an awesome thing to do. But the establishment like Pence more because he's part of the establishment, and he might be a horrible right-wing evangelical Christian thug, but his behavior is known. Trump freaks everyone out, rightly, because no one knows what the fuck he will ever do, because he's so ego-driven and so impulse-driven. He's like a toddler with too much red cordial, and everyone's a bit freaked out about what Trump might actually do. And so the Republican establishment would be much happier with Pence than Trump, because Trump they're freaked out by and they don't understand and they can't control, whereas Pence to them is a known entity, and there's an assumption Pence will work within certain parameters, and rightly or wrongly they prefer knowing a loony Christian evangelical as opposed to a really unstable fucking fruitcake like Trump. And you're right, Evil Hub, Trump's ridiculous double standards, politicizing the terror attack in New York instantly, but refusing to address the issues behind the Las Vegas mass killing. His double standards are absolutely disgusting. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Oh my God, look at the time. It's 10 o'clock. Okay, well, thank you all for joining me. But yeah, after 10 o'clock, and it's a work day. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I might leave all you wonderful, fine people. And thank you so much for joining me. It's always really enjoyable to hang out with all of you and have a little chat. It's a lot of fun. And I'm glad that you joined me for this, and I hope you'll join me again soon. I'll be doing more videos, and I will say hi to AZ for you. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, feel free to give me a thumbs up on the YouTube on the way out. We'll fool the Google algorithm one day into thinking I'm popular. And I had fun with you all as always. And I will see you again soon, I hope. Bye now. And I think I'm gone now. That's the way it'll work.